then he could be an effective arm for you in August, September, and hopefully October. So he's not a guy I would keep in the rotation right now, and he's in his walk year, so we may as well utilize him to the best of his ability. If we keep Pomeranz in the rotation now, he's going to be, his arm's probably going to be falling off again in late August, September, kind of like it did last year. And then, of course, the Astros killed him in Game 2. So just another thought, for the rotation. We're lucky we have the depth that we do. Anyway, joining us right now on the line is Dan Rourke. You can find him on Twitter at Dan Allen Rourke. He can be found on unhingedyankees.com and Yanks Go Yard, which is affiliated with Fansided. Dan, how are you?
Doing good. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. I've always had a lot of good luck getting, Yankees bloggers to come on, and it's always, it's always been, peaceful for the most part.
We'll keep it peaceful.
Not that my audience would ever accuse me of being a raging homer, but, it is what it is. So, you must be thrilled. I mean, is it 15 out of the last 16 that you guys have won?
Yeah, 15 out of the last 16, yep.
Yeah, and then I think that would be also, 17 out of the last 20 if you want to go back a little further, something like that.
Yeah, around there, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not going to lie. I was talking a lot of shit about you guys, a few weeks ago.
And, rightfully so. What was it, a 7.5 game lead at one point?
Yeah, and you guys had fallen under 500 by about one game, and
you guys put us under 500. I remember the first game in Fenway.
Oh, was that when it was? Yeah.
Yeah, the blowout.
Yeah, and I mean, you guys are going through a little bit of a transition. You have Aaron Boone in there now, and we'll get into him in a little bit. And you have Stanton in there, and he's very
struggling.
Inconsistent. He'll
very, very
seems to be teasing everyone with a home run here and there, but
yeah. It's with Stan. It's kind of like you think he's out of it one day, and then the next day he strikes out 4 times. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but at the end of the day, you guys are getting the wins. Your offense is backing up your rotation pretty well. Because
it's everything's kind of clicking right at the same time. The pitching's finally starting to turn around, especially with Sonny Gray, especially.
Yeah, because that was looking like.
There was a point. I was a huge Sonny Gray supporter throughout. I was kind of sugarcoating every bad start he kind of had, and then eventually, starting with Fenway and the next start in I think it was Toronto, I was just starting to say, man, he's really looking like at best a number 4 or 5 right now. But the last 2 starts, especially against an offense like Houston and Cleveland, things are definitely starting to look better.
Yeah, and Fenway's always been a house of horrors for him. Even if he was pitching well, I'd be, coming into Fenway, I'd be pretty concerned as, if I was a Yankee blogger. But yeah, and Tanaka seems to be finding somewhat of a rhythm, has he?
Yeah, because majority of it's apparently is due to he's increased his slider and splitter combo. So yeah, and he's looking a lot better as of late. He started off the year with 2 good starts, and then he got, I think it was Miami. He got shelled in Miami with the 9-1 blowout or 12-1 blowout it was. So the last few starts he's put together less than 3 earned runs. He looked good out in Houston, and then I think he was scoreless through about 6, and then in the 7th run, the 7th inning kind of imploded. But other than that, he's looked fine.
Yeah, and he's kind of had to alter his repertoire in a way because he had the injections in his elbow. He had a partially torn.
Yeah, the partially torn UCL. Yeah,
and so I would imagine you guys have pretty much a constant nervousness, whenever...
Oh yeah, it's starting to kind of ease down a little bit for me, but because it was his first year in the big leagues, he actually had that. It was 2014, so I'll be honest, pretty much through the 2014, 2015, 2016 season, I thought he was just a ticking time bomb. I'm kind of relaxing a little bit with him now because I feel like he's a little bit safe with that. But it's always in the back of my head thinking at any point he could just, back on the DL with that.
Yeah, I mean, he just seems to be really crafty. Just a really smart pitcher and comes up with creative ways to get guys out. And, at the end of the day, I mean, what more could you ask for?
That's one of those things. He's very, very, in my opinion, underappreciated by Yankee fans, especially if you think about it. I mean, even last year, he had an awful year. He had a 4.78 ERA last year, but he showed up big time in the playoffs against the Indians and the Astros.
Yeah, absolutely. And he had our number for the most part last year, if I remember correctly. He's not a guy I like to face. I'll take Sonny Gray over him any day.
Yeah, that's the thing with Tanaka, especially where it's like he doesn't have to be like quote unquote like the ace anymore with Severino, who's taking even a bigger step this year than he did last year. With Tanaka as our number 2, if he can be like, I think his ERA is somewhere in the mid 3s right now, I believe. But if you can have, like an ERA under 3.5 this season, that would just be terrific, especially the way CeCe's pitching as well. And if Sonny Gray's turned around, it'd be huge.
Yeah, actually, his ERA's up a little over 4, but I'm sure in the last...
is it? Oh, yeah, it was the 3 earned runs in Houston that put it back up over 4.
Oh, okay, yeah, that'll come down though. I wouldn't worry too much about that. Yeah. We got David Price sitting there with a 5.11 ERA.
So. Oh yeah, and just wait till he faces the Yankees on Wednesday. I believe.
God,
that's something I can always count on with David Price. The Yankees are gonna kill him.
Yeah, in Yankee Stadium for sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was kind of hoping he would. Well, I wasn't hoping, but I was curious to see if he might, kind of fake an injury a little bit, just to kind of mentally regroup.
Yeah, just. Throw him on the DL,
yeah, or just skip a start, but he's gonna get killed, I think.
Aren't we missing Sale? Right, Sale's not pitching against the Yankees, right?
Right, because he pitched today. Yeah,
that is gorgeous. That is absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, and you got Pomeranz, so that should be
Pomeranz. Oh, brother, I'll take that though, because he hasn't done too well this year, right?
Not really, but in his last start, he gave up 3 runs, I think, in the first inning, and then settled down really well. So
he's only made like a few, he made like 3 starts this year, right?
Yeah, roughly. He had a flexor tendon issue in spring training, and he had another issue last year, and kind of came in and had a very similar start, and then he had this epic blowout with John Farrell in the Oakland dugout because he didn't want to get pulled out, and then that basically after that last year he went on this unbelievable run. I think he was like 17-4.
Yeah, he had a great year last year. I was looking at his stats actually earlier today when I was looking at the matchups. I was looking at stats. He had a great year last year. Yeah,
that wasn't really expected, but it was nice to see, especially not having Price for most of the year.
Yeah, and Porcello kind of had a down year, but it looks like he's back to 2016 form now.
Yeah,
even better than 2016 form.
Yeah, and he'll be. I expect he'll be a top 5, Cy Young guy.
Yeah, because he was always a highly touted prospect, and he kind of clicked in Boston a couple years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. He's actually, this is his, might be his 9th or 10th year in the majors. He
spent like 5 or something years in Detroit, right?
Yeah, he came up as a 20-year-old, and he's kind of scuffled a little bit. I mean, his career average is right around 4, but
his first year in Boston wasn't too good, right? It wasn't in
terrible.
the 5s.
Terrible.
Yeah.
I was so mad when they signed him to that deal. Yeah, I wanted Cole Hamels in the worst way that offseason, and
what year was that? The Cole Hamels.
That was the coming into the 2015 season.
2015, yeah. I remember I wanted Cole Hamels that deadline. I wanted Cole Hamels. I remember.
Yeah. And and he could be a guy that ends up in you guys' radar. Well,
I saw a tweet from you actually that you said Cole Hamels was going to end up in New York Yankee. I want to ask you, was that you hoping he'd be a New York Yankee or was that you like you don't want him to be a Yankee but you think he's going to be?
That's just me being neutral, and thinking
would you be happy for the Red Sox case if he was a Yankees? I don't want to be in Yankee, to be honest.
I'm sorry, you kind of muffled there.
I wouldn't want Cole Hamels to be in pinstripes for me. Yeah.
Well, I mean, he is a little past it, but I don't know. Some of these guys have ways of kind of reinventing themselves, as they go. You're seeing it with Sabathia,
CeCe's been unbelievable this year, yeah.
Much later, yeah. And I still think, Hamels will be throwing, into the 90s, but I don't know. I just think that could be an under the radar move. And another one is Doug Fister. Even he got knocked around today, but if he gets into a rhythm, he's pretty good. And
yeah, there was a point he was one of your best starters last year.
Yeah. He started game 3. I think he got the. I don't know if he got the win that day, but that was the one game we won last year. Against the Astros, and his postseason ERA is under 3 as well. So
yeah, and that's where it counts too. So
yeah, that could be a nice sneaky acquisition.
Yeah, especially it won't cost much either.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and I think it was just a 1-year deal, so he'll end up walking at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
We mentioned Sabathia a second ago. He's pitching to a 1.39 ERA right now, and I mean,
it's unbelievable.
He's what, 38 years old, something like
30,
that?
Yeah, I think he's 36, 37, something around there.
Oh, is he? Yeah, but he's getting up there, and I mean, we see it with Cologne. I mean, you're like, how the hell is that guy doing it at almost 45? And Sabathia, same thing. I mean, he won't get the longevity, obviously, that Cologne got, but
I'll be honest, you never know. Cause think about it. You see, he's being crafty right now. He's not throwing with his 97 that he used to have. He's throwing with like 89 to 91.
Exactly.
So if he can stick around at that velocity, and then just like it's the big pitch is the cutter and the off speed and location. Like what they say is like the best pitch in baseball is a well located fastball, and that's what he's being able to do recently, which is it's insane. He's 1.38 ERA.
Yeah, basically.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and I just didn't think he would replicate last year. I just figured.
Oh, me either. Not even close. I mean, I was totally for them signing him on the 1-year deal, of course, but I was thinking, just maybe give him 150 innings of like 4-year rate ball.
Right. Yeah. Phenomenal, and I'm sure you'll take every quality start that he gives you. So.
I'm sure he'll come back down to earth soon, but
yeah,
still insane.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you can just kind of stagger his starts a little bit, just to kind of keep him healthy,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's in the final game of the Red Sox series, I think.
Is he? Oh, great.
I believe so. Yeah, against Porcello. Yeah.
That could be a low-scoring game then.
Oh yeah. Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Another guy. Speaking of health, another guy I've been impressed with is Jordan Montgomery, and I guess he's going to be out for 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah, possibly up to 2 months, yeah.
Yeah, and he was pitching pretty well. I mean, a 3.62 ERA. He was 2-0, and he's kind of one of those underrated middle to lower end of the rotation guys. So
yeah, he had a quietly very good year last year. Put like a 9-7 season. I think it was a 3.88 ERA. Led all rookie starters in a lot of categories. The thing with him, he's very good in getting out of jams and stuff. With his runners on base, he performs a lot better than he does without. He's one of their better starters, and nobody really even talks about him too much.
Right, and that's what I like about him. I put him in my DraftKings lineups a lot because I'll take an expensive pitcher, Verlander or Severino even, a lot, and then I'll take a cheaper one sometimes, and he's the guy that I'll slot in there. And,
yeah, he's definitely a good one to go with.
Yeah.
6'6" lefty. I'll take it.
Yeah, exactly. So that had to have been, for a rotation that was, lacking a little bit of depth. Tough to see him go.
Yeah, definitely. But, his replacement candidate, Domingo Germán, 6 no-hit innings, that was pretty impressive.
Yeah. Where did he come from? Did you get him in a trade or?
I believe he came over in the, I think it was a Nathan Eovaldi trade with Miami a few years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, where they sent over, who did they send over? Oh, I think it was like the Martin Prado trade, and with Miami he came over.
Wow, yeah, because that's pretty impressive, and I've seen him in some long relief before. So, what's he projected to be?
I think they say at best he's going to be like a 4 to 5, maybe at most a 3. But they say his stuff it can work in the bullpen over as a starter because he throws like 95 plus, and his breaking stuff's pretty insane, especially what we're watching today. Yeah. So, and it kind of just be maybe a swingman, or at least for the Yankees point of view.
Yeah, so it's nice to have a little bit of depth there. You also have let's see, is it Adam Warren? Is he
Adam Warren? Yeah.
He doesn't look like he's been used for long relief.
He was kind of a swingman back in the day. He hasn't really started